Hello and welcome to Voice. Here, one and the only big voice of Mansa Musa at the NFM Radio. Another beautiful Friday evening. I hope everything is going nicely. I hope you are winning. I hope you have won the week already. Anyway, Mansa Musa has sat in the captain's bridge. I am ready. I'm going to drive this ship. So all what I want to do is for you guys to join me to drive, sail away. Come and join me, sail away. You can join me on Facebook on YouTube. For YouTube, you just have to look for New Face Media. It's one word, New Face Media. And on Facebook, you got to go to NFM Radio. Then you are there. You see, or you can go to the Modern Ghana platform to look for NFM. Also, the app or the link that I have sent to some of you. Anyway, another weekend is here, so it is all about, they say, thank God it's a Friday, isn't it? Oh, thank God it's really a Friday.
Say dear, yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we yasia fanani na yenchia kapre. Ane aye free. Top connect amasika mani ayem rekra. Ye uhia ne se wo be download with Top Connect app no e Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. And so we use iPhone so ko Apple Store na download the Top Connect. Aye simple kra. Top Connect wa manda radio num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Wo mane wo dofu sika fa Top Connect so aye ntem na emre na mawa hoto swonso sese die sika manu di foforo kra any Top Connect so we yan chechemu bia for Top Connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our befontin fidie nyina so Top Connect Fasika mani wa dofo sunjemu a unchia kapre Top Connect yensu ye DNA.
Right, so like I say, I have to repeat and I have to tell all of you that all what you got to do if you want to send money to Ghana, the only guys who can properly, meaningfully, as Reverend Mate would say, meaningfully address the canker meaningfully. The only group that can address your remittances need meaningfully is Top Connect. Top Connect. Just look for Top Connect and they will connect you. Matheson, who's the name?
President Nanado. Your friend Matheson, Sunyana Nabo. Makwatna awonu Holland. Ako Sam in Fifure. Sikaka kre minya yeno. Mediaba mia me maimu. Ghana, the Ababetu registered bank, AJN Bank. President Nanado, Uber TV so be catch Ghana for sale. JN Bank anye nejumaye, Tiwaje Bank ne licenses no. With the customers misika be more. 3 years money, mensanka misika. Sikaka kre ka yeno so 550 million. Media kwa to commercial bank. Na midi say commercial bank there. Midi misika koto ho a save. President Nanado enam IMF bosiana wo kwa koboninti osimi misika 550 million na odi akwa ye adwuma nya interest wo so no once the koran onfa mame misika trend no so ose onfa mame just 2024 na sika no interest ketuwa no a menya no obema me mu 5%. Menya adwuma wo Ghana mintimi so enko Holland se me kwa ye adwuma mimfia kwa animu kakra kwan ben so na mefa so a me ne meire ne memma yibedidi. Mr. President, mesero se memma se me be street carefully ho mia misika makosam infifure enya no mesero se obama mensa aka obi bia obi tie saa me audio me recording yi bi no mesero se mo de beto mo platform so ebetimi afa so ma President Nanado nensa aka wenyamase ni bi etie Ghana mpanyinfo mesere mo so se mo ne President Nanado bekasa ama me Medamase.
Na Mr. Nati, what's it here?
Good morning, President. Nana Ado Adankwa Akufo-Addo. Ano pay mi bano boko. Midin the ASP retired Franklin Nati. Meson Ghana ewo police mu 24 plus years. Na mi gratuity mi san kano mi dito bond 2 years aka 1 year this year September year 2023 na mi bond no amateur wo adwina wo di ba ye say wakoboka ana wa bugana abofom enti me brama bre sika medi to bond no commercial bank no onfa mame we enye am robber ene be chimiji me sika o man panyi a ya to abama no se onhwe yeso emra wo fru plane 18,000 pounds an hour. Nkrofo kachre wante. Emra wo fa so many ministers say omunu na oni omu betumi aye adwuma. Nkrofo kachre wante. Ene your incompetence inti me bre amabre. Me disika yedi tua me ka say gratuity. Me fa hwe me ho so no. Usi wafa. This is 2033. Se mi manum na opese omumbeji sika na me nana no mo a menim. President, wani diemu o misrew. Unua na ni bank edi enim eji loans no mfaso a wanya no misrew mano fansa mfaso no ekutu yesika no mesika no mfa mame nanado utrimu yedin papa obi a maye juma Ghana mra kire say 24 years plus no yentu ameka as a retired officer no usi wuntu ameka menya 60 years here nanado misrew mibisa wo. Have you been a civil servant in Ghana before? Have you worked as a civil servant? Please. Nanado. Mimpese. Mbe kasatiao. Mimpese mbe dumi wusu eni ubusiya derbi. Midi yao esreo. Tise na Mr. Matheson. Efri sunyani esreo no. Jai misika mami. Me did the ASP Franklin Quintessential. Me tome bond wo commercial bank. It was Accra North branch. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Anybody who receives this, please send it to as many platforms for Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo to see, to hear, and to see. Or his cousin Ken Oforiatta should hear. Please, 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 Nanado, I'm not supposed to beg you, because when you were begging that you should be tried, I remember traveling from Kumasi to Koforidua to vote for you 2016, thinking you are bringing something on board. I regretted it. I have regretted all my life. Some friends told me, Anka unya accident or question na uya. Well, Nanado, please, whoever received this message, Forward it to as many platforms. Let Nanado hear me and ensure I have my money. Thank you.
What's name wacha? Mama inji 2 years. Says here the fear be 2 years. I want them. What's name 2 years? We are 2 years account. Says here no. So that someone has said per se. Open single room. Says here no put 600. Put 500. Put 700, 800. You're dying. Says here agent for age 100 CDs for viewing fee, and I say 80 Ghana for viewing fee. Just show you the room. Says here if you're a for beer, the Omodayam agent for Uchia 9,600. Also Uchia agent 900, 600, 900 and almost 1,000 CDs. Why? Says here you to the end day. Why? Like why? What? Like why? Hey, like it's serious. Say, Matsna demo 2 years. I'm paying 8,000. Now I'm supposed to pay 9,600. And you're taking the 2 years. You take 1 year and put. Because you see, me 6 months in 1 year. Say there we juma me fiera. Uba boa no busumi pay the amount. Say 600 or say 700. You have to eat only small one pay because a whole month no pay. And si back on one by day. Uma she bibi yo. Uma she bibi yo my one penny for mon kan one semi na. Youth for the year brana ye kun ye anyhow. A direct in tea ye begging pontino. Uba come ye kun. Bobe koma ye kunti youth nti ye brand muhu e dan sem e kunye adey how Ghana ye ble papa adey and the fear walk in nka jeverese me patro me diamond do because who agent viewing fees or do cut them or bet you 80 CDs and now say 100 CDs. And then there's some man dying who could have 600. Oh, nothing room name. Or do 2 years, 600 CDs, 2 years. Because of that, into the ultimate data or no person or two. Now or do a for a show on 600, 500. That they would turn into a person who 2 years. At the moon come she my say youth in the year bread. Ye any better a bone, ye actually a to a back. I make your main influence in call for a
Hey, I remember a song by a fella and Nicola Quintessential. Jesus Christ. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? You see? Today, this afternoon, I saw that clip. Oh, Jesus Christ. People actually dismantling railway lines. People removing railway lines. The metal, you know, the railway, it runs on a metal track. Steel metal track. Reinforced mild steel. A very expensive sort of a project to do. Ghanaians in some villages are just going about without care, without the knowledge, without the care that them tempering or, tempering is the word. Tempering with the steel structure, the railway lines, Obikai was a tantamount to disaster. How Jesus Christ, they say ignorance is bliss. I'm sat here and I don't want to know. I don't want to, justify the activity, the action, the criminal activity of people, individuals who are stealing railway lines. At the same time, I don't want to condone and I don't want to justify it. The people are stealing railway lines. Railway lines. I go. Yanko Jubilee line, Jubilee line. One more on the high, Mooney might cry for the Jubilee line. Very Yanko Jubilee House. Now, Yanko here, yes, information, and home ministers and home accreditations, baby. Yanko Tiekakra.
Yeah. So basically, what you have there are you have communication specialists, directors of communications, deputy directors of communications, technical communication assistants, media aides, media liaison officers, communication consultants, presidential advisor on media, who has a technical director to the presidential advisor. Then you have the ministers of state at the presidency.
And these guys are there for information minister.
Yes.
Go through that list again. Just on the communication side.
There's a lot to communicate.
Stop it.
I'm just telling you.
You have information minister who's cabinet level.
Who has ISD working for him too.
And then you're having all these guys working under the presidency.
Who work under communications directorate. Yeah.
Of the presidency.
Yeah. There's a lot to communicate.
You can't be serious.
I'm just telling you, there's a lot to communicate.
So and what are the conditions of service of these people?
Nobody knows. That's the issue.
That's why the transparency is not. So if I'm a lecturer in Legon and I've been teaching for 15 years, right? And I struggle to get my PhD. And then you have somebody who is a technical director to who has access to fuel. Read the letter they wrote. They said their fuel thing is not gone up. So this technical director, what's the competence, what's the qualification of somebody to do this work? So if we are not transparent, and I'm saying that this is mathematics, this one is not sentiment. If the government wants the pressure from the labor unions to go down, and they want to, and if they want a credible plan for IMF to, if the plan is not credible, see, if people don't accept the plan, it's not credible. If the labor unions, the businesses don't accept the policy, the IMF will not accept it. So if they will not be transparent with these guys and say, this is what we are doing, I can't understand why you have all these guys working and what are they doing? You said they have a lot to communicate. What are they communicating?
I'm just telling you. But if what would be the justification for
look at
directors of communications?
Mention the mention the post again. Mention the thing again.
So the directors of communications.
How many directors of communication?
Yes, 4.
4 directors of communication, and then deputy director of communication.
There are 5 deputy directors
at the presidency.
Yes.
And then which one again?
2 communication specialists.
So the director is not a specialist. Okay, the specialist below.
There's a lot to communicate.
2 communication specialists and
3
then
communication officers. 5 technical communication assistants.
So you have 4, 5, 9, 6, 7 plus 3, 10, 15.
Media aid.
How many?
1.
Media aid.
16,
assistant media liaison
16,
officer.
17.
Communication consultant.
18.
Then there's a presidential advisor on media.
Charlie, are you sure you're not joking? Are you saying what are you? What is not joking? What are you saying?
Right. It's not a laughing matter. Lots of people, communication this, communication that, communication director, assistant communication a good Jubilee House and already communicate because they know say communication is very important. Mudia muncha ntronum gumu na yesuyansi seskano na yemfa enkosie. Me say when I saw the video of Ghanaians in certain small towns and villages that are situated along railway lines, the activities nefarious, that's all can be said about the illegal criminal activities of some of the members of society. They go about their business removing the metal parts. A railway track is just metal parts and a few what they call sleepers, and these sleepers are usually timber log pieces. These days we have the concrete troughs or concrete ones, that sort of thing. But most of the railway structure, the way structure, I mean, the thing that the train runs on is all metal, from the clips to the bolts to everything. So people are going around removing parts of this or taking even the rail lines itself and selling it for scrap. I mean, if I'm not careful, my line of trying to assess this might look as if I'm condoning. But seriously speaking, I'm not condoning at all. Also, if you have just tuned in, Mansa Musa, I am here, the Friday Vibes, Friday edition of Fire Will Burn You. Let me say that fire, don't play with fire, don't let fire burn you. You know, ironically, there's the title of this program, but it doesn't literally mean you should let fire be burning you. I've always said that fire, you use fire properly, then fire becomes a servant. If you misbehave or joke or mismanage fire and fire becomes your boss, then you are in all sort of problems, all sort of trouble. So be very careful with fire. Anyway, having said that, I'm trying to get a spokesperson for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to come and tell us what is happening, because such a new facility as, Kejetia supermarket or the market, the mall, the whatever you call it, relatively new. And so all this modern equipment, all this health and safety, fire equipment and everything should have been in place. But my hometown Ghana, talking about Ghana, Ekrasi, utum say ebi before ekrasi chese wodwene ho a wonti ase say ade a yesi ni foforo and say how Jesus Christ it just got bent and bent. It just bent and bent. I mean, whose idea is that? I've learned or I've been told that even the fire exit or the fire escape routes and the rest, all those places have been assigned to people to sell their goods. They've been sold out or lent or they've been leased. All areas, all spaces, be it a fire escape or fire route or anything, people are using it to trade. And so when fire starts, very difficult anyway, people may escape, but what it is for the fire brigade and the rest to actually bring the fire under control, it is going to be very difficult. Now what it is that it's not only in Ghana, the same mentality most of us have carried and is with us here in Europe. Our mentality is minute. Anyway, so I'm trying to look for somebody to come and speak on behalf of the Kumasi Metropolis. The police, the metro and the police. You see what I mean? Then tonight I will try and get two people. One of them works for the toll booth system. I mean, when the toll booth was in operation, I think they had a union, and that union, the leader or the chairman, one Mr. Duncan, has agreed to come and have a word or two with us. Then this drivers union, previously 2016 or so, they said they formed a group called Drivers for Change and campaign heavily for Akufo-Addo. Their chairman, their leader is now he has regretted bitterly doing all those campaigns for Akufo-Addo and now going everywhere to tell anyone who listen that too much. Anyway, he has also provisionally said he will come and speak to us. From wherever he is, because these people move around everywhere, and sometimes they may not be able or available, or the convenience won't be there, or the possibility, won't be available for us to talk to. But if everything goes well, we'll get Mr. Yao Berima to come and speak to us as well. So what I'm hearing is that the drivers are not happy for the toll booth to come back, to reappear or re-emerge. While the toll booth workers, for them, they are happy if the toll booth happens. I don't know where you guys stand on this, or where you stand on. I mean, basically, every job is a job, This group, Akufo-Addo group, is just a bungling blundering mess. They are just a mess because they do everything haphazardly, everything so hunya, so nyama, so basa. They do everything yafu, basa. Look at the transport minister. Will not even wait for Parliament to sanction e-levy, and he will quickly, to sanction the removal of toll booth. Then quickly he has removed everything. So within some few hours, somebody's job is completely gone, just like that, with no care, no thinking from this transport minister that, hey, we need to sit down and plan it properly, because after all, it is the livelihood of some people, members of our community, So how do we go about it? On Gina Green Rusa or a minister, it's not Junino and Rusa and your council told to know a dream back up. Make us so called share paper be a dawa was signed to council who be or the Nanoka can or the announce here. Bassa. Now today, some drivers are saying that look, the toll booth we won't allow it to happen because the toll booth, because of the e-levy promised that if we agree to pay the e-levy, then there won't be any need for toll booths. So now that we are paying e-levy, why bring the toll booth again? Oh, and because the minister no, well Jimmy, on your correct. The credit okay there. OBBT abefu so who did Microfatem. Minister ne Jimmy, on your correct. Adia ye parliament power and ye see, you know, you don't just outdo it or remove it just like that without thinking out of the consequence of the resultant misunderstanding or confusion that may bring. Now no one say the toll booth is now over, no more toll booth. The whole group is a bungling mess. Now what here free yakoto ko jina akotina studio what now comfortably they ask you comfortably they ask you why do you want to be president now and some phone and some jan wait we are not down for the answer friend hey my friend jacotra baby now we dey ugu when you crowd do but no MPP for you on catch us they are the men hey kasa for talk is cheap. You see what I mean? Anyway, Mansa Musa, I'm here alone today. I am doing me I can talk for England. So if you want to come and talk with me, no problem, you can join me. If you don't want or you want to listen to it, that's fine. But then Yenko Naminko Tie me sponsor Omo Enkratuo.
Say dear, yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we wiase afana nyina yenchia kapre. Ane aye free. Top connect amasika mania ayemrekra. Ye wohia ne se wo be download with top connect app no e wo Play Store. Diama wo Android phone. Anase wo use iPhone so a ko Apple Store na download the top connect. Aye simple kra. Top connect wa mamba radio num so wo Europe, North America and Asia. Wo mane wo dofu sika fa top connect so a aye ntem na Nemma wa hoto so sese die sika manye di foforo kra any top connect so we yan chechemu bia for top connect e wo +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect e wa befo ntintanfidie nyina so top connect fasika mane wa dofo asumjemu a unchia kapre top connect yensu ye die
wana mutanen NDC da ke United Kingdom da Ireland chapter ina rokon ku har wa yau ku vote ku ba chairman Akwa shi kada ne wanda in Allah ya yarda ya win ya zama chairman zai kawo welfare program da zai taimaka muku ya taimaka ma party mu daga cikin wannan welfare program dukkan member da ke neman taimako lokacin da ya shiga cikin masuwa abin da ya kama daga 50 pounds zuwa 400 pounds welfare program na ya tabbatar a baka a taimaka maka in Allah ya maka dalili ka biya wannan kudi bayan haka kuma dukkan memba da ke neman wani taimako sha'anin batun takardun shi ko wurin zama ya ajiye manya da lauyoyi da kowane lokaci kake neman advice ko kake neman wani lawyer da zai taimaka maka akan batun sha'anin zaman ka a kasan United Kingdom shi kuma su bi bayan ka su taimaka maka su saya maka ka biya wani abu kadan da yake in ka je waje zaka doki lawyer ba da ka same shi haka nan ba muna rokonka member NDC da ke United Kingdom ko Ireland in lokacin vote ya kai ka vote ka ba Chairman Akwa shi kare ne wanda yake zai taimaka ma fatin mu a lokacin da muke ciki wannan shine sanarwa ko wannan shine abin da muke roko ku taimaka mishi Allah kuma ya taimaka mu duka gaba daya Allah ba mu nasara mun gode muku da kuka saurare mu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh
National Democratic Congress NDC mu no nyam form mane me ma mo UK ni Ireland chapter no ya yedie nie then aso say yebeto aba eyi chapter chairman fofo ya said the chinene mum no koto on swear enyonya for Dr. Joe Ajimai the restoration man the father say e dey part no wenim kai odi amonyesema kotile yie e we to the west wa ofoma soro nkoso oni mu adumade de e fa ne hotitiru na esini nan so numade bebre no de egu akwamu a obeye de amaye bini se o sigina ye esiko no dwumade bia be kire party office na odisika 3 pounds empemenum na ato ase eye 5,000 pounds o sanjwe maguo ne mama ho so 1,000 pounds na ebe show mu dwumade mu kina na esigina ye dodon so a be kire afoforo omo betro omudin abeka party ne ho de omo mbrakura o omo se beka omudi card ententem so na atwe adom abeka ye ho eye bosome miense bia nso party mu mpanimfu a odi dwumade ebe show mu nse bia no obetu safro omo atena se na de ye de show mu nse no omo ebu ho aponta mako we di bebre na no be ya mayo onua se kwatre kwose be ma wontuma bisanidi ye ni Dr. Joe Ajimai the restoration man chapter chairman ana yentumano.
Right, so right, Nana Che so Mesa Bonsu. Or say Che Sema, you can if anything. Or say Che Mesa Bonsu. Or yeah, MPP for top spokesperson our parliament. Now, oh no, I can't say me. The man say something, and that you know. For me, I won't know if you say if you agree or not. Okay, all right. You see, the man has said something, and what Oseche Mensah Bonsu have just said or his comments. Some will listen and say, this guy, is he having a laugh? This guy, is he serious at all? What is he talking about? But I know the MPP group will be very happy and they will grasp, they will latch to it quickly and make it their something to cheer them up. Or say Chairman Sabonsu, he's saying that when it comes to economic management, you the NDC people, they come close, cry. They come close, cry. Yeah. Mundi mo economy hove inti munjana ni yenwin. But yebeka ho asem, the only issue me person me tackle seriously today is the fire that engulfed, the fire will burn you that happened at Kejetia market. Apparently burnt so many stores or properties in the mall, burnt to ashes. You see, and I'm hearing reports that there is very little fire safety process or procedures, or the observation or the adherence to fire safety methods, very, very minimum indeed. Those of us in Europe and America, especially UK here, when I was here in the 90s and working on construction sites, from those 90s up to date, the changes that has come about in terms of safety management, in terms of workplace safety management, it is huge. It is enormous. Governments, individuals, businesses spend lots of monies here in Europe to prevent accident, incident, fire-related sort of things. I mean, spend lots of money so that fire-related sort of accidents or incident will be very, very minimal. So like I say, when we started construction site, all those days in the 90s, where we can build an alley tower, they call it alley tower, aluminium tower. It's some sort of structure to allow a person to work from heights. Alley tower. And those days, anybody can just, construct an alley tower or put up an alley tower, whether you are trained or not. And as it were, as fate will have it, many, many, many accidents happened. And accidents resulting in death, especially the ones, falling from a height, occurred many times. You go to construction sites, some of us were just lucky to be alive. Just go to construction site and the foreman or the ganga man will say, 2 people should carry the aluminium tower, pieces and start erecting it. So we will erect it as best as we can. I mean, we could those days. Not until legislation and the people in charge decided that erecting aluminium tower is just only second to erecting scaffolding, and so anybody who works from height should be provided with a proper sort of platform for the person to work from. So you are working on like a painter or let's say electrician, but you have to stand on a trestle or a band stand or anything to give you height for you to reach where, the position or the point you want to work. You need to stand on something that is good enough to support your weight, something that will stay solid, will not dangle, will not collapse, will not break, that sort of thing. So some of us immediately, were sent to these courses. Mikrom Ghana enka sa course no kra be ko bi je so utua sika ana se wo ye formal ne hu nipa. But all of us, black, white, from Eastern Europe, Chinese, Indian, speak Indian people, Pakistani, Ghanaian, Nigerian, Sri Lanka, everybody. They sent you to go and learn how to erect aluminium tower. You see, they ask you to go, you learn these things. Then later on, something we call induction. You are going to work on a construction site. Now the safety lectures became something, it became so huge that we had safety managers, people, at university level to come and lecture construction site people. Some of us were lucky to have had higher education, so we took it on board and went through this fire safety or health and safety training, various health and safety at work, management, legislation, law, everything. The nut bush and all those kind of things. The safety when you are digging the groundworks, when you are working from height, when you are using electricity, when you are using cutting equipment, all these things. Spent lots of money, huge amounts of money to train people so that accident, as it were, will be very minimum. And the things that can cause fire. I remember once I was warned I was going to be kicked out of sight because the grinder that I was using to cut a metal, that cutting effect causes sparks, small sparks, fire. And what we have been told is where there is sawdust or paper or anything that can cause fire, can burn, we make sure either you try not to cut the thing you are trying to cut. You don't do it near those areas. You have to maybe clear the place, make it clean before you can use an angle grinder and the rest. The no smoking signs, everything. So many things just to make sure that fire will not occur. Now, your Chrome Ghana, dear, yet to me, sika market, like I said, relatively, it's a new sort of an edifice, a new premises. We can build that one and forget about health and safety. The management of that site is all about money. Who you know, na mami foi, na oni binimu deda, e binimu yire, no any deda because oni na ochiche e kejetia market. That's all before Ghana for and one yenim. Said you are managing the premises, the place, being managed, it's not about the safety. It's about the prestige. It's about the bluff, the feeling big. Hey boss Kena, hey boss Bakupe, hey boss Nye, hey boss store ne se minyabio, utua bribes, enkwasi asemusa. So when fire occurs, it just burns. We don't do anything properly. Everything has been politicized, or rather, should I say, the level of partisanship, the partisan nature of our being, our existence in Ghana, in Africa. It is not a politics, so I'm talking about a partisan. So much so that recently we heard that some people refused to take the honors bestowed on them because most of the paraphernalia, or let's say the colors and the materials used to design the awards, they bore or were bearing the images of MPP and their colors, instead of the thing to be Ghana colors, the flag. No. That's why I'm not in wonder at all. I'm not surprised when this Akoto Afriye, the former Agric minister, when asked why he wants to be a president, the response tells you how deep we've dug ourselves into this quagmire, this rubbish, so-called multi-party, or let's say, you can't say, is it pluralistic democracy? So-called multi-party democracy. We are doing it peche. And kwasi asem kwa. Nyanse bienim, there's no finesse. There's no substance. Say, we're doing things to make people, improve their living standards near the middle. It's all about whom you know. Obinyonko, we could trace kawaha, no, we need girlfriend, obini, ni rekoda kakra, we ni saha ni dibu yemai. Na bibia nyame bufu say, if after all this, the empenifone wo kromu hono, enka omu yare na nka omu mba Europe, omu nka America, anka mi nka hwe. But they know very well that they fool about with everything. So they know that they haven't got anything better at home. Whenever they are ill, when they are sick, they go elsewhere to go and seek proper medical care. Someone who kwasi someone at home. You see the foolishness. Now you see our foolish level. Okay, I hear you. Okay, I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Okay. But, anyway, the number of, what do we call it? How do I say this? The number of requests for help financially that Mansa receives these days, to be honest, is too much. So the ones that I cannot respond to, or the ones that I cannot meet, the ones, people are asking almost every day. As for every week, yes, one or two will come, but almost every day. Somebody, like yesterday, someone sent me, he's going to purchase something for his children for school and this and that. You see, obviously, I'm not calling names, so nobody should say I'm trying to undermine anybody's respect or integrity. But it shows the level of depravity, the level of you can't say, the level of the lowliness. That's the word I want to use. If it's a word, lowliness. You've gone low. You've gone right into the depths and the depths. So people are struggling. People are really, really suffering. And they are not ashamed anymore just to be asking for £10, £20, £60, £100. They are asking. Sometimes I do my best. But the mere fact that people who don't know me, I don't know them, for Adam, will call me or send me a message to ask for monetary, financial help and the rest, I know I'm not alone. It's too much. It's too much. Or mine are pro. And when the country is rotten from the top, when the leadership is useless, this is what happens. And this takes me back to my original comment about the railway lines that are being stolen here in Ghana. Or should I say there in Ghana? Railway line. I tell you something. If you come to Europe, I have visited quite a few countries in Europe. I have not been to America, I have to confess. But the biggest of the trail lines you find is in Russia because they've got mass land. I mean, massive. The place is so big. I think 7 different time zones. And they have trains that travel weeks on end from one end to the other end. And when you go to such places in the Soviet Union or Russia or even Europe somewhere, you see rail tracks that are old. They are still there. some may be about 100 years old, some are not being used again. They are just there, but they are still there. And so when you see a Ghanaian, a video clip of Ghanaians in some towns and villages now taking the engineering aspect of dismantling railway lines into their own hands, dismantling railway lines, taking part of the rail tracks away to go and sell for scrap for some small money in order to survive. That is the problem. That is the point, in order to survive. So for their, immediate survival, for their, daily being able to live, they don't even think about the fact that the removal of those rail lines, there's no signal for any oncoming train to know that the rail lines has been damaged, removed, dismantled, or anything. So if we are not lucky, we'll have a derailment. Most of these places, we don't have, passenger trains. So, okay. But the goods, either foodstuffs, cocoa, timber, this sort of gravel, anything that is being carried by the train, if there's derailment, it's going to cause a hell lot of, resources to get things to back in order. But we have people, I saw the video clip, even somebody using a hacksaw. If you have been to technical school, you should know a hacksaw. If you don't know, ask somebody, please. Don't worry me. A hacksaw to cut reinforced mild steel. I mean, steel that has been reinforced, Even when you are using the mechanical, electrical controlled angle grinder or the cutter, how difficult it is. This guy is sitting down maybe the whole day using hacksaw to cut the rail lines, pick them up to go and sell. You see, in the first place, I won't condone, it's wrong. Those people, when caught, being poor or, wallowing in poverty does not warrant anybody. It doesn't justify you to do any crime. It doesn't justify anybody, anything, to go and remove a railway line. And so when caught, those people should be properly prosecuted. I'm not saying they should be beaten and molested by military men with guns or no, even though I know the anger is there. So when you get somebody like that, some people, you have to treat them with the law. But, you see, the general, what is causing all this? It's not that people are wicked, or people have things to do, jobs to do, or people have other means of survival, but they deliberately, or they just want to damage the rail track. I don't think that's the main aim of people, the criminals who are damaging rail tracks. Their aim is to survive. And in a country where the president and his family and a group of few people have made billions of, not cedis or dollars, hidden somewhere, enjoying it, whilst the rest of the country actually suffers in abject poverty. I hear Kenoforata and the rest were given an award. I hear. You see, the situation in Ghana, obi kan wan hwe adachi, obi be fa ade bi abo obi tirim. Wan hwe adachi, obi be fa ade bi abo obi tirim. Ensem hunu no adoso. Empenifo no eche sika no fa. So if that is the case, how do you expect the rest of society to survive? And whatever they can get their hands on, they make sure they capitalize, make sure they use any opportunity available for them to survive in these harsh conditions in Ghana, in West Africa that we face. And so, Mesai Abba, sir, railway lines now more say no, but for now, my main call Accra, Ghana, and I say, oh baby, now many a brand here, Duncan, Enkodi, and Como. We are a better, sir, railway lines now more saying so. Oh, Duncan, good evening and welcome to NFM Radio.
Good evening, my boss.
Hey.
And thank you for the opportunity too.
I'm here alone. I nearly jumped out of my seat. Your voice is so deep and so powerful. I want to run. And that is a compliment.
Well, I take that as a compliment.
It's a compliment. It's a compliment. Anyway, were you able? Have you been able to share the links and everything? Because I think I can only guess that you would like your people, others to hear about our conversation. If you haven't done it, I can still give you some 1 or 2 minutes to do that. Then we can start to talk.
Okay, so let me push it a bit further again, and then
just push everything. The Facebook, the YouTube, and the radio. What do you call links? Push it. And I'll call you in 5.
Okay, boss.
Brilliant. Right, Mr. Duncan. He is. I think if I'm not mistaken, he will be the chairman of the Toll Booth Workers Association, something like that. He has agreed to come and speak to us this evening. So for the next 5 minutes, let's continue with the fact, the news that terrible, episode of Ghanaians, some Ghanaians in some towns and villages, going about their, in fact, unpatriotic duty of dismembering railway tracks in order to sell them for some pittance for food. Because the big men in town, they have done their galamsey, they have done their bribery and corruption, they are super rich. Their people are rich. And ordinary Ghanaians should go hungry. How do you expect people to live? Like I say, if you go to many places in Europe, some railway lines that have been abandoned for several years, nobody touches them, they are just there. In Ghana, a live railway line, the current railway line being used by trains in those areas, people are going around dismantling or dismembering those railway lines to be used. Hey, how you do? To be used for small money to get food. And this one, you can't just sit down and blame just the people, the perpetrators, people who are going about destroying railway tracks. No, you can't blame them alone. Even though it is not in a way trying to justify that action. But I understand the reason that why this is happening, because to dismantle railway line is not easy. Jesus Christ, I will tell you a story. About 15 years ago here in the UK, when the Chinese started buying every metal on this planet, the Chinese Industrial Revolution started and they were building their skyscrapers. They needed all metals, every metal, even wrought iron. Wrought iron was being sold. I remember construction site, anytime we demolish a house, all the metals, we put it in a truck. Those days, I remember in the 90s, one truck would get 250 pounds. It was big money, The truck would go maybe about 3-4 times. All those times, the Chinese were buying metals, right? Now, what happened here in the UK was that if you have realized, the cover for the manholes, the round covers used to be wrought iron, wrought iron, or cast iron. That's what they use as manhole covers. So some unscrupulous people, some very bad people started going around and removing those manhole covers, and they were selling them as scrap. They were making money out of it. The authorities decided to put, police on the alert. They fixed CCTV cameras here and there, everything, prosecution, everything. But the best thing they did was that now they got a company to make the covers reinforced rubber, reinforced plastic, which didn't worth anything. If you take it, nobody will buy. And still, it can withstand the shock or the weight of a vehicle. So they make it reinforced plastic covers. You see, the problem was there. They solve it in so many angles, so many ways. In Ghana, you need penny for mu crowd mine no cre. I mean, Uncle Duncan. You're listening to Mansa Musa, and this program is called Fire Will Burn You. If you come too close, the fire will burn you. If you don't come too close to, the fire can still burn you. I'm sure Mr. Duncan has completed his assignment. Let's go and welcome him again. Hello, Duncan.
Oh.
So now you are okay, yeah? Duncan, can you hear me? Oh, I couldn't hear. Maybe he couldn't hear me. Let me try again. Let's try again. Okay. Right. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me? There's a lot of noise behind you there. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, let's try again. There's a lot of noise coming from his point, but let's see. Anyway, it's now 11 minutes past 8 o'clock here in the UK at the same time. Okay, Duncan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
now. Okay, very good. Now let's go on to the conversation. You've been able to share, right?
Yeah, I have.
Brilliant. Anyway, I called you here because it's been a while that let's say the activities or your job description had been relevant. I mean, you've been out of every discussion for a while, but now it looks as if you guys are coming back. When I say you guys, do you have an association of toll booth workers or something like that?
Yes, we do have a union actually, Ghana Toll Workers Union. So that is a body of all those of us who used to work in the road and bridge tolls in Ghana. Those of us who used to collect, those who were working as supervisors, those who were working as cleaners, those who were working as security, and those who were working as coordinators. So we are all together and we form the Ghana Toll Workers Union.
I see. And so let's start from the very beginning, and that is on that day or a day before the announcement came that your job is just gone, just like that. How did you take it? How did you feel?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mansa Musa. I mean, that day, it felt like we've been hit with a ton of, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, for something, it was outrageous. We're filled with anger because it is unheard of. Not in our wildest imagination did we think that an organization which started from the days of Kwame Nkrumah, or like a company or a job that started way back way back, presidents upon president, governments upon government have come, and this job has existed and supported the government in raising revenue for developmental projects. Not in our wildest dream do we think that one page of letter, one page could close or shut down the whole organization across the country. So we're taken by surprise. I mean, the day that the budget was read, we thought that we had some time because it had to go through Parliament, because the toll act was enacted by Parliament. So we thought definitely it will have to go through Parliament. So the plan was that as it goes through Parliament, we will also prepare a petition. And then the reasons that the Honorable Minister for Finance gave, which is that pollution and then traffic situation, we give them solutions to those problems, if even those you could call those problems. We believe that the pollution issue that they were talking about is a non-starter, because there are so many companies and there are so many industries in the country that emit some kind of pollution into the atmosphere. So what you do is that you put in measures to mitigate the effect of all those pollutants. Now, if you tell us that the car, when they get to the toll booth, they pollute the environment in the toll booth, how about when they move away from the toll booth? Don't they emit fumes as well? So that is even a non-starter. And then when they talk about the fact that there's traffic at the toll gates, we say, yes, it could be true. But
Duncan, my producer said I should ask. In fact, I got your name as Duncan.
In the country where there are no tolls.
Duncan, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
My producer is telling me something. I know your name as Duncan, Toll Booth Workers Union Chairman. What's the full name so that I can...
Secretary, sorry.
Secretary, okay. And what's your full name? Sorry,
My full name is Edward Duncan.
Very good. That's all. Please carry on.
Okay. So like I said, so we give reasons why all you have to do is just open the number of toll gates. If you say there's traffic at the toll gates, there's traffic on some of the major roads in the country where there are no toll gates. So to say that because of the traffic situation at the toll gate, I'm going to collapse the toll system, it was wrong. All you could have done was open the number of toll gates. Like if there's say like 6 toll gates at a particular toll station, and you observe that there's traffic there, why don't you make it like 8 or 10, so that it will ease the traffic at that station? And we also pointed out to the government in our petition that most of the time it is not even the activities of us, the toll workers, that cause the traffic. Most of the time it is the bad nature of the road, especially in and around the toll areas. So when the drivers get there, they have no other choice but to slow down or navigate their way through, but they have to slow down and be swerving potholes on the road. And then also there are ramps at the toll gate. So when you get there, you have to slow down to go over the ramps. And there are reasons why there should be, or there's traffic at the toll gate. So don't put the blame on our activities. And in any case, what we do there, we generate revenue for the government. So, to scrap it totally and forgo all that revenue, when you think of it, you don't really understand. The thing is that
one would have thought, before you continue, that the excuses or the reasons for even terminating this sort of business wouldn't be that because of traffic. Because I've checked so many areas in China. They say they have 50-lane road, highway. If you see the number of cars behind the toll booth, that is the nature. The toll booth, you got to stop and pay before you move. So why should that be one of the reasons? I don't get it. Anyway, we
all don't get it. We all don't get it. And so, when this thing happened, we moved to engage the driver unions, because we heard that on some of the radio stations and interviews that we had, the phoning, they were called, and then some made some comment, and all the driver unions, their top hierarchy. So we had to proceed to go and meet them. and we explain our activities to them. Their problem was that the tolls that they pay, they don't see what the monies are used for. Because, and I beg to, I mean, I agree with the drivers, because it is ironic that even where you pay the money for the roads to be fixed or maintained, even that spot, the toll gates, the roads are worse than even some of the roads in the country. So, how do you pay this out of I don't want to say joy, but how do you pay it without frowning or without getting angry? So we do understand, we engage them, and then what they told us was that their engagement with the ministry or the minister told them that because they couldn't, there are loopholes in collection of tolls. They are bringing a new, the e-levy, and so the e-levy, because they are bringing the e-levy, the net will be wider. A lot of people will have to pay e-levy, so they will close down or shut down the toll collection system in the country. That is what the driver unions told us. So really, what the government, through the Honorable Minister for Finance, went to Parliament to give as reasons for which they wanted to close toll, when they met the driver unions, they told them another thing, which is that because they are bringing e-levy, they will shut down tolls. So this is the issue. We really do not know what really was the reason why they shut down tolls. But I mean, from developments that have happened now, I mean, the fact that e-levy is not raking in as much as they expected, and then now they are going back to tolls, give us the indication that, of course, it was because of e-levy. But, when this thing started, and the reason that they gave, after that, there were a lot of commentary on the side from party functionaries and some government officials to the effect that toll workers were stealing the money. That is why the government is able to make only 78 million cedis, and this was reiterated by Honorable Minister
Mr. Duncan. You see, in all this,
yes.
I mean, before we even discuss some grievances, some reasons, and the rest, it came as a sudden change. That a government, you work for a quasi-government organization, and within a day, the announcement came that your work or your jobs was no more. I want to know, some of us who live far away, what was the arrangement for that redundancy or that curtailment of your jobs? What was the subsequent arrangement, so to speak?
It is very, very sad that in this country, I mean, anybody can just get up and do whatever because they have power, and they are not guided by any rules or whatsoever. Whatever they feel like doing, that is what they do. Unfortunately, for us as workers, some had worked for years, some had worked for 2, 3, 4, a number of years, serving the country, raising revenue, risking their life, risking everything to raise revenue or to work and raise revenue for the country. Now, with just one day, a few hours, you just issue that your job has ended, don't come to work again. And that was it. No arrangements, no foreknowledge, no official communication, no letter, nothing. It was just what we heard on radio or what we heard in the media space. That is all. That is how our job was terminated. Now, the annoying thing is that there was no package, send-off package. Take this, go. This is, There was
no S gratia.
Yes, we are the little people in the country, so we S gratia there. It seems like it's from here to heaven to us. No, nothing like S gratia, nothing like take this and go and set up something. All that was given to us was promises that we are going to find alternate livelihood for us. We are going to find other jobs for you. And then another promise was that, okay, before we even get you the job, because we do realize that, or we do know that it will take a while before we were able to get to the job. So before then, we are going to give you a monthly allowance until we are able, finally, when we get to the job, then we cease giving you that monthly allowance. Now, what happened was that because the cessation happened in November 2021, and then so they gave us November, and then they gave us December. So we were excited. We felt like, no, and even this was after our petition to Parliament, because we realized that if we had not petitioned Parliament, if we had not demonstrated, we probably wouldn't have even received the November and December because of what has happened from January till now. The fact that from January 2022 till now, March 2023, not even a single city has been paid any of our members. And then also the job or the alternate livelihoods that was much trumpeted all around, even on the floor of Parliament and all that. Not a single person has been given an alternate livelihood. So we're about 800 workers as it is now, ever since November 2021, we are being jobless because of this act of some people in government.
So now the feeling about the narrative or the conversation is that it looks as if toll booth is going to be reinstated. Have you, the union or your top hierarchy executive, have you heard or got any formal sort of engagement from the powers that be, government or Ministry of Transport or something?
No, very unfortunately, no, we haven't. And we got to know of this thing in the media space. And unfortunately, that has been the push of the government ever since this thing happened. It's a case that unless we demonstrate or we picket or we go to them, nobody will invite us. And it's a shame because they should understand, the government and the people, and they should understand that we are stakeholders in this toll industry. You cannot do away with the workers, we who virtually sleep at the toll. We are there 24/7. So we are important stakeholders in all these things. So if there's anything, any kind of policy that you want to formulate around tolls, which better person should you involve than those who are on the field and knows what goes on the field? Unfortunately, this is not the case with the people in government. Whatever that they decide or they want to do, nobody consult or nobody involves us. And then even sometimes when we take the step to go to their offices to try and engage them, we are faced with a lot of challenges. It is difficult. As I speak to you now, 6 months ago, we wanted audience with the Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways. 6 months ago, officially, we've written letters and everything. We've been to the office after that letter that we delivered to the office. We've been to the office on about 10 times, all to no avail. We have not been able to see him, And when it's a shame. Things that happen in Ghana. When you present a petition or a document to an office, it's even for them to acknowledge that, we have received your document and we are going to. And then when you take the step, when you also take the step to find out what is happening with your letter or your query, you are faced with a lot of It's sad.
Is someone trying to call you or something?
No.
Okay. Because
I think it's a network.
Yeah, the network. No problem. So the question here is, you see, we are hearing that the toll booth system is going to come back and the rest. And you being a union, yours is not just one man or two people organization. You have a union. You guys have a union. So the other unions, like transport and something workers and those people, trade union, all those unions, are they in support? I mean, one would have thought you pulled together to at least make your case.
Well, I didn't get your earlier submission because the network was bad. Okay. What I got was the union. I think you got.
Go ahead.
Or if you want to start all over again, because I got the last bit.
Okay. My question is, you belong to a union. You guys have a union, Toll Booth Workers Union. Are you in this fight alone, or the other unions have tied up their aprons with you guys, to engage in this battle?
Okay. What the situation with us is that we, because we have not registered as Ghana Toll Workers, we affiliated ourselves to PEU, Professional and Allied Workers Union. So that is the mother union that we are under. So we are toll workers under Professional and Allied Workers Union. That is why we can call ourselves Ghana Toll Workers Union, because we have been unionized by Professional and Allied Workers Union. I mean,
the reason why I'm asking this is I don't see any union being in acceptance of just a complete neglect, laid off without no compensation, nothing, and everyone keeps quiet. It's strange, isn't it?
Very, and this is why this is Ghana. This is what Cheney Jonas will say for more. Excuse my language, because I mean it feels like we're in a jungle. Anybody can just do anything because they have the power to, and that is the situation that we are in. It's rather unfortunate, and then it also demoralizes you. I mean, how can you sacrifice for this country? I mean, if this is how you'll be treated, it's sad. So I don't know what actually is happening with our union. For some time now, the union has been a bit quiet on our issue. I don't know why, but the thing too is that this group, as in Ghana Toll Workers Union, we were not a union until this thing happened. So we were all individuals who had gone to work, who had been employed and all that. We were not unionized then. We were only unionized after this incident. So maybe that is why there are a few challenges on the way. But even that aside, I mean, that notwithstanding, once you employ somebody, or you employ someone, you engage a service of someone, there should be, or you want to lay off your worker, I believe that there should be lay down procedures and rules, I mean, governing how you lay down, you lay off your workers. I remember that we went to labor union, and then we met one guy. He spoke to us in confidence. He told us that, look, this case, their institution is a government-funded institution, and this case is with the government. The way he sees it, it will be very difficult for us to pursue this. So we should rather pursue with a private union. That is what we were told. So you see what actually the picture that I've painted. So because it's a government thing and it's funded by government, when you use them, the government will sabotage. You will not even get anywhere. So that is why we went into the private union, and even that, we've got to a point where the effort that we feel like the private union should put in is not forthcoming. For whatever reason, we can't tell. So as it is now, we are fighting the fight on our own.
You're listening to Mansa Musa. The program is Fire Will Burn You. Here coming to you from NFM here in London. I'm speaking. The voice you are hearing from that end is that of Mr. Edward Duncan. He is the secretary for the Toll Booth Workers Union in Ghana. somewhere in November 2021, according to himself. They just had an announcement that their jobs were no more, just like that, and no compensation, no pay. 3 months pay probation, and nothing. And that's it. And meanwhile, we have, like we say in our local parlance, some big men enjoying ex gracias. Somebody took ex gratia, he brought it, and he was vilified. Someone says, okay, even if I have been receiving, I want to cancel it. He's still being vilified. But it will be for another discussion. So let me go back to my guest, Duncan. So in this respect, I want to know again, you guys worked, is it for government? As government workers, or you were hired by some private company to organize the toll booth program?
Okay, what it is that the facility, we all know the facility, which is the toll facility, is for government. Now, under normal circumstances, it is the what is it called? The Ghana Highway Authority, which is supposed to manage it. Now, but the nature of our politics here is such that any government that comes can decide to award management of that facility to any private contractor of their choice. So we started working with, Ghana Highways employed us, all of us, about 38 tolls in the country. It was Ghana Highway Authority that employed us. Now, along the line, 20 of the major tolls out of that 38 were all put together and given to a private contractor to manage. So where I worked fell under the private contractor. So as I said, 20 of the toll bits, and then the other 18 were still under Ghana Highway Authority. So the arrangement with the private contractor, between the private contractor and the government, was that you collect the tolls, and then I'll pay you a certain percentage of it. Now, out of that percentage, you pay your workers. The workers that I employed, and now I have transferred to you. You pay them. So initially we were under Ghana Highway Authority, and then we were given or handed over to the private contractor.
I see.
Of course, we did some paperwork with the private contractor to say that he has engaged our services. But initially, we came from Ghana Highway Authority, so we're government employees.
I see. Okay, so now, someone has phoned in. I will let him speak. But before I go there, let me ask you. I want to understand that before you enter into that employment, you might have gone through some paperwork in a simple form. Appointment letters or employment documents, and that sort of appointment, all those things. There was no statement or a clause that maybe you as a worker will have to give, let's say, 3 months notice before you leave, and the government, if they want to do away with you, it's not your fault, you haven't stolen anything, then they too will have to compensate you. There was nothing like that.
Well, there was the part that before you leave you have to notify them was there, but as to for them compensation bits and everything, there was nothing like that in the paperwork. So you see, because of the desperation for work, in the country, sometimes some of these things we tend to overlook it, and then it is used against us when it matters. So for the employee to notify the employer before you quit, yes, they quoted.
I tell you what, Duncan, I wouldn't even let you finish. But look, especially coming from the government, using, let's say, ignorance or, like you said, desperation of citizens to ignore laid out or the provided rules that governs employment. This one, if you get in a proper country, a good lawyer, a very big case for the government. But let me ask the fellow who has just phoned in if he wants to contribute. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Sorry. Hello. Good evening, man. Samusa.
Good evening. You tell us your name and you carry on, sir.
Masamsa, my name is Lon Seven Sagini. Let me say a big good evening to your host at the other side, Mr. Edward Duncan.
Mr. Edward Duncan. Duncan, can you hear him?
I can hear him loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes, he's done a great service or justice to making clear some of the challenges that they've gone through as a union. They are an essential part of raising revenue for Mother Ghana, and you and I know exactly what that means. You know, they contribute to the building of schools. That is, if the government is making judicious use of the money and not flying presidential jets worth $18,000 an hour. I mean, they contribute to the building of hospitals, roads, and I have listened to him from the very onset.
I'll beg you that for the sake of, let's have a mild conversation by just based on facts and, let's remove the politics out of it.
That is the exact point that I'm saying, that he's a union. It's an integral part of what happens in our country.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying from takeoff, because obviously, if we are talking about revenue, we know what that does to the country. It's, it goes into the building of schools, roads, hospitals, providing, the social net and everything. But you see, he made certain assertions that when they met the powers that be, when you look at the challenges that was put before them, apart from the e-levy bit, where they think that when they abolish the road tolls, e-levy was going to rake in loads of money and stuff like that. The mighty challenge that the authorities had was that, there were a lot of siphoning. I mean, members of his union were using other means to more or less take certain monies from the state. And therefore,
you mean they were on the accounting and all those things were allegations. Look,
but from the horse's own mouth, he said when they met those people, those were some of the things that were put before them. So I'm just going on that tangent, right? Which obviously you and I could agree.
I understand.
Right?
I understand where you're coming from.
Okay, so the salient or perhaps the sensible thing that one would have done or thought of was to put in place measures which could have monitored. In these modern times, you could place cameras on all these places and count the number of cars that goes through the tolls, and easily could even make the money before they even account to you. All these things were not done. It tells you the rot in our country. One man just sat down or woke up from his bed and went to Parliament and said road tolls has been abolished without going through the necessary rudiments of administration. You get it? That is what the problem is. Could that not be said of causing financial loss to the state? Let's look between that period when these tolls were abolished. How much has the state lost in terms of revenues? What could that have been used for? So these are the things. So I'm not going to stay on the line for long. All that I'm trying to say is that I clap for Mr. Edward Duncan for their sanity, for his clarity on the issue, and for their patience. But I will expect and urge him perhaps for his union to take the matter on legally, because I think they'll be shortchanged. We need to fight for our country. This is not politics. It's not NDC, MPP or nothing, but excuse me to say, it's common sense. You and I live in this country. Anytime you cross into Wales, you pay tolls. Even I live in the north. I live in the Midlands, right? When I use the M6 at certain points where I want to avoid the normal M6 and want to go on the expressway, I pay tolls. Anytime I come to London and I have to go through the Dartford area, I pay tolls. So I don't understand this.
I was just going to tell you that I didn't have to go to Wales, but Dartford, you got to pay tolls, and you've got to wait a little bit. I mean,
pollution. The issue of pollution. Excuse me. Have they dealt with Galamsey? We don't know what Galamsey is doing to our environment in terms of pollution. It's you know, I can't wait for another revolution. But you see, I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it. Mr. Duncan, you see, when you listen to some of the excuses that they've given, pollution, Jesus Christ.
And what stops even the management of traffic putting signs that when there is a clog up, or let's say a bunch up, or you got to wait for about 5 minutes, switch your engines off or something. I mean, some of these things, even you can put technology where now these people will just cross.
Important point.
Yeah, you can just cross without even waiting to buy, but the technology will mark you down, and later we do it in central London. You don't go
Madam listen to this one.
Oh dear.
The same man trumpeting the same government, which is led by a man who flies like he walks into his bathroom and baths. You know how the airplanes pollute the environment. That is why in London and most advanced and in fact civilized countries, people prefer to use bicycles. And even where possible, they walk. That is why in this part of our world, when people fly so much, they become, or more or less, they get
observers or some people, I mean, this climate change people, they are always monitoring. They said one of the few good things when COVID happened was they cut down on flights, and the pollution came down to about, let's say, 10%. You know, because planes were not flying and everything, and there was no pollution. Anyway, listen, let's leave it there, and when you are ready or you want to come and say anything else, I will
let me say thank you to the gentleman at the other side, and a great service to yourself and your production team for bringing such a topic up. I think this is where we need to start fighting for what Ghana is all about. It's about common sense and holding people to account for their stewardship. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Duncan, anything to say before I start with my questions again?
I'll just say I also appreciate the gentleman's contribution. I mean, he has articulated all the points that should be said. I mean, it's woeful the way the country is being run. It's sad. I mean, you guys live out there, you see the best of the best. I mean, how the country is supposed to be run. You know, out here, we're going through a lot. And I wish that for the lawyer, you know, we've been to a couple of lawyers. We're trying to get pro bono, because as it is, you know, all of us being at home, you know, money to fund or finance.
You see, look, that's why I had to call you to come and speak about this. What some of us can put pen to paper to do, to say, to write, or to ask, we will do it. But any serious administration will not lay about 500 workers out of just like
about
that.
800.
You know, I'm just mentioning or sounding a conservative figure. I just want that round figure of 500, right? You can't lay people off like that and just expect. You see, before you came, I was talking about a video clip I saw somewhere at Sankragwa or those places. People are actually dismembering railway tracks to be, you know, to go and sell as scrap. And even though I know what they are doing is criminal, I still understand where they are coming from. They want to survive. So what is going on? Anyway, let's come to the substance. So now we are hearing that soon, you know, the toll booths will come back. Even if they are going to use more technology, still the human interface is still going to be applied. And so some of your services will be involved. I ask, and I want to ask again, you said you have not been consulted. Have you heard this news? Do you believe that the system is coming back? or you think it's just hearsay and that it was just rumor?
Well, we believe that because of the financial situation, the economic situation here, the fact that the government needs money, we believe that this time around they are serious about it. And the document that was leaked a couple of days ago also goes to reinforce the fact that they are serious about reintroducing the tool. So we believe this time around it will not be, it will not be a lie, as it were. Now, the thing that has to do with what's it called? They have a term they call it technology and then automation. Yeah, that's the word, automation. Mm-hmm. We say that for every government, you look at your socio-economic situation before you design policies. You design policies to suit your economy and the society. Mm. You don't just go and lift a policy or a product from another country with different setting altogether and just come and impose it or come and put it in your country. It will be like putting square pegs in round holes. It will not fit. Now, of course, we do know that there should be automation now. But what we are saying is that for the government who knows that your unemployment level is very high, if you're going in for automation, you shouldn't say, because let's say the UK, because you're in the UK, let's say the UK is operating an automation where a toll plaza needs only, let's say, 5 people. Now, I'm going to bring that technology to Ghana. No, the UK can afford to go in for a technology that could take only 5 people per toll plaza, because unemployment level is not as high as it is here in Ghana. And I dare say unemployment level is so good that, jobs are so available that even Africans and Ghanaians move from here and they go there and they get jobs to do. Of course. Now let's come to our country. Yes, let's come to our country. Now, the automation, there's a one, the UK one, 5, yes. There's a one that can take about 20 or 50 people, and it's still automation. So we are saying to the government, if you're going in for automation, go in for the one that will require the services of a lot of your citizens and reduce unemployment, and then also reduce the state of insecurity in your country. Because we do know, if you're working, you're making ends meet, you have a legitimate business or work to do to make money, hardly would you entertain illegal thoughts. Hardly would you do that. So when you do that, you engage your citizens in gainful employment. In effect, you reduce unemployment. When the gentleman that spoke was talking about galamsey and he brought my mind to, yes, of course, if those who are doing galamsey, destroying our water bodies and polluting the country, if they had alternatives, if they had other jobs, because galamsey did not start from Adam and Eve. Galamsey did not even, I don't even believe that it existed in Kwame Nkrumah's time. Galamsey only started when hardship became unbearable for the people, and they found ways and means to survive. When you push somebody to the wall too much, they will find ways to survive. And that is what why people are doing galamsey. So why is it that we are working, we are gainfully employed, and then you come and take away that job? What do you want us to do? Do you want us to go join in the galamsey activities, or do you want us to go join bandits and threaten people and take things from people? It is really sad. So the point I'm trying to make is that let the government think about how to reduce unemployment level. You don't have much jobs in the country, and the few that you have, you are talking about automation. It is beautiful, but I also say, the last time I had the opportunity, I was talking to somebody on radio on an interview, and he asked me this question, and I asked him, so will it also be fair for us to say to the government, to our government officials, that okay, if you're going in for an automation, the UK as is operated in the UK, is it also fair to tell you that in the UK, ministers and MPs ride bicycles and bike to work? Will it also be fair to tell you that our ministers and our MPs here should also ride bikes and bus to work? And by extension, in the UK, if there's anybody is accused of any wrongdoing or any suspicion of any top official of any wrongdoing, they quickly resign. Can same be said of our politicians? Economy or every country or every society and what suits them. You look at, like I said, you look at your socio-economic situation and use it to formulate policy. So the government should go in for an automation that would employ all of us, all 800 of us who were sent home. Go in for automation that will employ.
Somebody just sent me a message. Said, Mansa Musa, ask him if some of their members were sent on some training courses for them to re-engage in employment, in a gainful employment. Where anybody, were you given options that, okay, this is not happening, so the women among you, this is ending. So the women among you should go and learn how to make dresses. The men should also go and learn how to make dresses. Or some of the men who can should go and learn how to at least do electrical fittings, the soft ones, or learn computer things. Were you given any options to, so that you can survive when your jobs were taken?
None whatsoever, Mansa Musa. Nothing, no plan. You see, that's why we say this. We are just being mistreated and we've been swept under the carpet, like we don't even exist in the system. Like we don't even exist. There was no plan, nothing for us. It was just sweet talk. They just sweet talk us so that we'll just go and sit down and wait. And we didn't go to sit down. We've kept pressuring them till now. There was nothing. I mean, something like that would have even helped some of us, because some of our members, a lot of our people, when you consider educational background and all, a lot of them do not really have higher education. So training like that would have helped. I mean, people would have loved to go through this sort of training so that they will have a skill to survive on. But nothing like that was given to us. Like I said, it feels like we were just swept under the carpet. Because maybe we have no say in the country. I mean, our voices will not reach anywhere. So let's get rid of them, and they can't do nothing. I mean, I'm sure that is what the authorities thought of. That is why they had no proper plan for us.
One man, Abam Babin, and he's not alone, but the list of the monies given about for him to go and do medical checkups amounted to about 600,000 apparently. If he was given just 100,000, and that's $600,000, that's $500,000, and all the big men who had to go and do medical checkups, all 500,000 were taken and reserved and used it for training for people who had lost their jobs. That will say, it will mean that we all live in the country together. They say everything that happens to all of us. But we have leaders who have simply stopped to think. Sad, but that's what we are. Anyway, lastly, let me ask you, when is the official or formal meeting with any, what do you call it, men in charge or those in charge of your welfare or this? I mean, either lawyers or whatever. What is the next action?
All right. As it stands now, and I believe that it's the parliamentarians, especially the opposition side, that helped to push the government to bring these two, because we have engaged them ever since. I mean, we've engaged people in the majority, MPs, of course, and then we've engaged the minority side. The MPs, the majority, the MPP MPs, to be clear, the MPP MPs, most of those that we engaged did not, from the onset, they didn't really understand why or what pushed the government to close down tolls. So when you speak to them in confidence, they tell you, that is the MPP MPs. I wouldn't want to mention names, but the NDC MPs, of course, yes, they kept telling us that no, our rights, they will fight for our right to be upheld, and they will fight for this tool to come back. That was when it was closed. And then lo and behold, they helped for the tool to come back. Now they are telling us that they will fight for us to go back to work. Yesterday, myself and my chairman were in Parliament. We had a meeting with one honorable member on the minority side, but unfortunately, he was caught up in another meeting, so he couldn't see us. So we had to leave, and then we make an appointment. We made an appointment for next week. Now we also proceeded to the ministry to see the Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways, but unfortunately, we were not able to see him as usual for the past 6 months or so. We've not been able to see him, to have any engagement with him, to know what really is going to happen to us, seeing that the toll is coming back. And the lawyer issue that you were talking about, yes, we've gone to see 2 different law firms. We've asked them for pro bono because of our situation, but of course, some have agreed to do pro bono, but it will not be just free pro bono. The pro bono that they can offer us is that they are not going to take any money from us. But if we're going to court, or we have to go to court, whatever expenses that they do outside, that is whatever that they have to take out money and do, we will have to fund it. So that has been our challenge. That is why we have not taken the legal route yet. But all of them say we have a case, we have a winnable case. I mean, we have letters to show our employment engagement letters. We have letters to show it, and so we have a case, like you said. But just that we will have to, have some money so that when we proceed, we will have to. Whenever there's a need to pay something, we'll have to pay. That's the only challenge that we are facing now.
Right, Mr. Edward Duncan. What else can we say? I mean, I wish you all the best personally, and as a collective, that your efforts will receive favorable, responses, and that in general, Ghanaian youth, as we speak, I can feel from your voice that you are more a youth than Mansa Musa, and this isn't right. That an African youth from the teens, say 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, from all that young age, they can't run away from their countries quick enough. And that isn't good. This shouldn't be happening forever. You see, we should be able to live in our country and expect that life can be managed. Our leaders, I don't know if we've got leaders, but that's where we are at the moment. Anyway, listen, thank you, and we wish you all the best. Hopefully, the jobs should come back, and if and when you have anything that you want to discuss, I'm always here. We welcome you to listen to your views. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, my boy. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless you.
For Sasadia, Yenam Top Connect so and Manisika de Bagana if we are Fananina, Yenchia Capre. Annie, are you free? Top Connect a Masika Mania, I am Rekra. You hear any sober download with Top Connect app no our Play Store. Diama or Android phone, and as we use iPhone so or Apple Store, not downloading Top Connect. A simple cra. Top Connect to a member bread you num so Europe, North America, and Asia. Woman will dofu sika for Top Connect so a na emre na mawa hoto swonso sese die sika manye di foforo kra any Top Connect so we yan chechemu bia for Top Connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our befontin tefidie nyina so Top Connect Fesika mani wa dofwa sunjemu a unchia kapre Top Connect yensu ye dienye
Oyezu oyeza munya NDC nya ewo United Kingdom na Ireland chapter da mabri so michia na menyurba bezian abato ho nkomo dem wore enyim na oka kakra na yakoto aba yeze yanim penyufo wo bohwe party do wo dam chapter ya meji hu nkomo na menyu ba bezi chairman akwa no hu nkomo da mabri chairman akwa campaign fo a we gina there to wando abana wombe chairman nemu chairman akwa de ogina ho prekope enti mesraw de ebo to waba na eza ma chairman akwa no wabe chairman bo United Kingdom and Ireland chapter usane de okita nhihye bebre a yame na dom na so be chairman a opede ozuboa awa eye member wo United Kingdom na Ireland na NDC party ni na da na dom nhihye no mu binyi the establishment of a welfare program. Dem welfare program yi no mu mfaso binyi abribiara NDC nyi ehwehwem bo wo sikasama fem bibi kakre bi a ezebototo nzama wa abra ahokyira aba no dem welfare program yi bohwe na wonsa ka bibi kakra ofi £50 zuko £400 na enye sika etum ebotua eyi ye chairman akwana adwe na opede odzeboa NDC ibiso nyi de NDC member biara obenya any immigration issue ana mbrem nsemi biara wo bibia otena wo United Kingdom ana Ireland chairman akwa establish mpenyumfo a wo betena ho na wahwe na advice biara oyembra kono do na wodi amaw impo se pelo yenyi bi na wegina na waka wasem bi amaw wo United Kingdom ha ana Ireland da mpenyumfo yi wo mu binum ye lawyers a obotum wegina ma amaw na waji bibi kakre bi wa bra obotum wa abo na wo bibiara so akodo welfare program kuriyara suya chairman akwa opede ozubobo azi onu so behwe na yenuanum a wo United Kingdom na Ireland nyinara awona woye into event organization photographers awona wo hihye bibia amanfo ye one parties one weddings nyina obaka won nyinara abom dem obeya NDC member biara obenya any event de oye wedding outdooring bibiara no wetu wa bobo na wa ya ama wa bra onkotue sika ti dem a okakafo obi wo pado ana enchen bi na wa ba da madina aman chairman akona nimpemfu so bohwe na abribiara any welfare ana any social issue biara oba affect any member biara no obaba obope wechi na bibiara ode wodze mo ana bibiara ode woye na wodze bo wo program wa akodo no wetu wa yendam na ahomka wa ba welfare program yi bibia se nyamobo na se chairman akwa obeye chairman wo United Kingdom na Ireland no munsam kakra na me putu hu za atrewi odobobaji na woda aboa awo member na woda aboa yen NDC MPyi na pebe nazi munua NDC nya ewo United Kingdom na Ireland to waba former chairman akwa nyamobo na senensa kazebiu na ono so obegina na wahwede mama ka nyinara odebe yi dwuma na party na akwa nanyim.
Government and in public service. So why do you want to be president?
Well, I want to be president because I want to be the flag bearer of the MPP, which is what is driving me, to give an opportunity for me to make a contribution to the new patriotic party, as you saw in 2020.
Private practice and in government and in public service. So why do you want to be president?
Well, I want to be president because I want to be the flag bearer of the MPP, which is what is driving me, to give an opportunity for me to make a contribution to the new patriotic party, as you saw in 2020.
Private practice and in government and in public service. So why do you want to be president?
Well, I want to be president because I want to be the flag bearer of the MPP, which is what is driving me, to give an opportunity for me to make a contribution to the new patriotic party, as you saw in 2020.
Private practice and in government and in public service. So why do you want to be president?
Well, I want to be president because I want to be the flag bearer of the MPP, which is what is driving me, to give an opportunity for me to make a contribution.
Right, if you've just tuned in, I've just finished an interview with a gentleman, Mr. Edward Duncan. He's the secretary for the Toll Booth Workers Union. If you recall, the Toll Booth 2021 November, the transport minister just announced that the toll booth is now demolished, or the toll booth activity has stopped because e-levy has come, so no more toll booth. The problem is that the difficulty that some of us have in all this is that young people, especially the people who are not able, like you and I, me and you, those who worked, for this, at these toll booth stations to support themselves and, perhaps their family as well. Within just an announcement, their jobs came to an end, and there was no further sort of outreach to them, no engagement, no further some sort of support or anything, nothing, just that their work. And I don't know anywhere that people work for government and they can just be laid off just like that, no compensation, nothing. That's why when I see Oseche Mensah saying that NDC does not come anywhere close when it comes to the management of the economy, I'm thinking, this man, is he having a laugh? Has he taken some substance? Or maybe you agree with him. You can call me and tell me. Let me read it. He said, Majority Leader Oseche Mensah has said, despite the economic crisis the country is facing, the NDC administration comes nowhere when it comes to the management of the country. According to him, but for the COVID-19, the Kufuor government was transforming the economy as the country recorded growth of 7.0% with regards to ECOWAS GDP. Anyway, I don't have to laugh. Maybe he's telling the truth. Who knows? Maybe he's just very truthful indeed. Maybe. Right. So it goes on to say, speaking during his concluding debate on the 2023 SONA, the majority leader said the Kufuor government has Ghana web for muchura ni yo mimpesa ane. Also, Kufuor's government has performed better than the John Mahama administration as there was no COVID-19 and Russia war. Okay. He said, Mr. Speaker, as they say, Mr. Speaker, 2019, the ECOWAS GDP average was 3.5%. Under Kufuor, the economy grew by 6.5%, which means that in the first 3 years of Kufuor's administration before COVID-19 struck, growth at an average of 7% was as compared to your shambolic performance of 3.9%. So, according to Oseche Mensah, Kufuor, na by no, wa born home modern papa nemum COVID any Russia Ukraine war no and abese bibia. Obi kai or say who mamai? Anyway, so let's leave it there. But when you listen to Akoto Afriye, Yebusan say you want to be president. Why? Now or starting with NPP. It makes me wonder, is it that it's a Ghanaian problem? You see, maybe this isn't just MPP problem, that we haven't got good heads. We haven't got a three papa. We haven't got, people of capacity, Maybe it's the whole Ghana problem. Maybe. Because I can't believe that it's only the NPP for the war 80 years and I say NPP for the NIPA. Maybe it's a Ghana problem that we haven't got the people of the capacity, proper one, maybe. You sit down, they ask you want to be president. I mean, this is the question you are going to face everywhere. And this is the question like you should polish and polish and polish your answer. You clean up your answer properly. Anytime they ask you, somebody here and you'll be shaking the head. What basically was said, so that you can become a flag bearer of the MPP. And the question in I want to ask here, bro, for no one year, and now I say, not you endo. You see what I mean? One of these days, we got to tell the truth. Professor Marty, been okay.
The clergy and the religious, this thing, when they speak, they shake the foundation. And it is only the church that will address meaningfully the canker going on. And they want to silence all credible voices. Now, today, we will reveal everything to you. This question has, direct relation with the pronouncements of Reverend Professor Marty. Let me tell you why people do not want Professor Marty to talk. Listen, they have tried, politicians have tried all means, all means to muzzle me, to get me, but they can't. They come with bribes, fat envelope, $100,000. Listen. I want everybody to listen. Politicians came to my house with fat envelope, $100,000, not cedis, dollars. And also with the promises that, if you keep quiet, we will give you a house at Trazaco with swimming pool. You know what? We will give you 4-wheel drive. These people were lucky. I did not have big dogs in my house. Else I would have released the dogs to bite them for the whole world to ask, Papa Moderator, my boy one again. Papa Moderator, I then I would tell me dinsa. Now you release the dog. Then I will tell them, ask what they came to do. You know what? They have tried all means to muzzle me. They couldn't, and I tell you they can't. And you know what? I will speak today, I will speak tomorrow. You know the tax I pay? Osofo. Sometimes when this thing comes and I see the tax that I've paid, but at the same time I said, praise be to the Lord we serve, because it's going to build our nation. Then when my tax goes, you babies with sharp teeth, you are stealing the money and you don't want us to talk. We will talk today, we will talk tomorrow.
Mo ye ka so for asema mo Moses. There is no genuine pastor in this country. So for biani oyo genuine. There's no pastor in this country. I may say there's no single pastor. Oh my Ghana mo nyankopon ebi na no kasa kire no. They are liars. They are doing business. Obia gotina na sorry dem abie na sorry ye ne business. Na sebi preduas a youth no mo Ghana so na mo akotina sa sorry dem na mo ton nkumbia bi. Mutumi ko toss off calendar de bo simu dem say mu here protection abra sa sofo no or bodyguard na muti krom ha and youth na mu o man mu ha no. This is the time I was say ye bia ye new Ghanaian youth, our eyes are opening. Senka asofo ni e genuine adena Christian counselor ye din na youth e wo man mu ha ye bre adena Christian counselor who do ahimfo e wo krom ha. Everybody is quiet about what is happening. Crisis e wo man mu antinka ye wo sofo mu so mu dwin Ghana ho mu enyame ni papa nka sofo yo mu nsori nkasa ma youth no. We don't have any genuine pastor in this country. We are in this country na sofu bibe shen come say shatawale bewu shatawale wayarimpo anka wabewu. They are all in this country with lies. Black Stars kwa kubo match na sofu bi di flyer bi ba out to say omuye fasting and prayers for Black Stars. Akosi saying group stage ukura mutimi pie. We are living in this country. Instead of saying pointing the mistakes to the government to say is distracting the people of Ghana. No, mu yes no. Now more your flyers are who do say move bompire to Galamsey, move bompire to economic crisis in the country. Me say there's no genuine pastor in this country. So fu biani Ghana nyankopon kasachireno. They are all liars. Nobody. So fu biani or maimu ha. They should come. I can prove to them that they are all liars. So fu biani kruma. So fu bi nim say nyankopon e frɛ na on kire ye na ebesi 2022 sorry 2023 on kire ye na ebesi 31st night ba afa no mbɛhye ɔmo nkwase ankom na ase na ɔmo hye nkom sɛ wo maame na how wo papa na how wo bi dua bi asifie hɔ na how na mo distract youth na ɔmo di nkonti ba de ɔmo maame na ɔmo papa no machi sɛ ɔmo yɛ abaifoɔ asofo ɔmo ka nipa bom asofo ɔmo yɛ beef wɔ Ghana wo so what say nyame nipa yɛ beef da. Let's open our eyes, Ghana's youth. Hey, it's about time amunya ya sorry kona munya juma. Work. Stop going to church. It's a waste of time. Sit down in your house, pray. God will listen to you. These pastors are doing business. They are getting money through with the youth. Work and get money. There's no single pastor in Yankupon Kasa Chiren or Ghana Maimuha. They are all liars and hypocrites. If they are not
right, this young man is on fire. He said they are all hypocrites. It reminds me of Mr. Jimmy Cliff's song some years ago. Hypocrites, all of you hypocrites, you're gonna pay the price someday. Well, you are listening to Mansa Musa, and the program is Fire Will Burn You. I've already spoken to the secretary for the toll booth workers union, right? I'm trying to get to Mr. Yao Berima. He is the chairman of Drivers for Change. He previously campaigned vigorously for Akufo-Addo during 2016. Now, though, he's not happy about so many things. And we'll see if we can get to say hello to him and have a lively discussion with him if and when I can get him to come and speak with us. So, on the other hand, for you, the listeners, too, if any of you, if you want to come and have your say about anything you've heard or anything we discussed, you can phone the studio numbers. Simple, really. 0208 123 5911 or 07876 251 261, and or send your messages onto Facebook or YouTube, and I'll read them. Someone, as we speak, have sent a longish type of a message, which I'm trying to get it into smaller pieces so that I can read them. And it is I need to wear my spectacles. So let me try wear my spectacle, and I can. Also, good evening, sir. This government of Ghana hasn't been fair to us, the toll workers across the country, especially we, the physically challenged persons, disabled in brackets. Some of us had an accident there and have been neglected. Some too can't pay their rent and their children's school fees. The suffering has been worse day in and day out. We have not been paid for a year and 4 months now. As a disabled person, how are we going to survive? God is watching them from Amasaman. Kudos. This lady's name is Genevieve. Genevieve from Amasaman. You see, it speaks a lot about the type of people, forget about the government, the type of people we Black Africans, West Africans are. Some people working. Okay. People are doing their bit, whatever it is, to work in a toll booth station. It is not something that will make you massive amounts of monies. No, it wouldn't. So the little that you are making day in, day out, if that one too is taken away, with no recourse to say any sort of help, terms of compensation or anything, that really is something that could happen or did happen only in the days of slavery, where people worked for nothing. So, honestly speaking, for me, I feel very sad. Let me see if I can get this Genevieve. This Genevieve, how do you spell Genevieve? Okay, I think I've got it. Genevieve, okay. I'll see if I can get her to come and talk to us on this program. Okay. So you are listening to Mansa Musa. I paused a bit because I needed to do one or two on the telephone. I needed to write some few things. I needed to send some messages to Accra because I'm waiting for the drivers union chairman to come and speak to us about their disenchantment. Or disagreement or disappointment, disgruntlement about this government. If you recall, recently, okay, thank you very much. What is this? Okay, all right, but that's it. Right, so that is where we are at the moment. That some people in Ghana decided that, or someone in Ghana in government decided to do away with toll booth workers, just like that. That they should go home, no money, nothing. And for the past, like this one I'm reading, for the past 1 year, 4 months, no payments. And for Ubia who work now. And I'm say, a corona team, I can only speak to what I know. Tamwa Aben Babin speaker or calls a Saudi Arabia, a Kuwait, so Middle East to go and seek medical advice. Apparently the money, assigned to him or the money government gave him was up to, $600,000. And he not being alone to, being the only recipient of such huge amount of giveaways from the government. If, let's say, Abambabi was given only $100,000 and the rest of the 500,000 was kept somewhere, and we can get about 500,000, about 10 of them. This, your friend saying, toll booth workers could have been sent on a program of a retraining program and still be paid some allowances. You see, when a country is being governed properly, even in the midst of hardship, people see that the government is trying its best. But when the leaders, the people in charge, when, the people in authority have everything to themselves, they share everything to themselves and leave the citizens to languish in squalor, that is where it brings so much of a problem. But I know one of these days that problem is going to happen in Ghana. It's now 9:30. You are listening to Mansa Musa is the fire. Fire will burn you program that we're discussing now. I also say economic management and I say the government general management more NDC for the moon chat intimam from crema. That is what Oseche Mensah Bonsu is saying. Exactly what he's saying. And Ross yet ye baby na ye na ye say can a Japan win case against Anas Aremiyao Anas. Now those things, for me, I've said it. Unless Ghanaians, we realize that we are in a serious problem. Okay, you. All right, Martin. Unless we chase out those crazy bowheads, like Bob Marley said, unless we do that, the country and its people are going to suffer, while some few people will just go about enjoying. Because you can't tell me that this Anas guy who has done so many investigative, journalism, and brought to us the knowledge of so many things that are happening in so many places. Today, our judge sitting in Ghana is saying Anas is rather practicing journalism, terrorism, or terrorist journalism, whatever he said. And people are happy. Some people, they are happy. If you accept the, the running mate, what message are you going to tell Ghanaians? Okay, that is the view that Ono Achamantieka said they don't have a message. Interesting, they don't have a message. Okay. The country Ghana, is it heading, into another doomsday? Because according to this report, someone is saying Akufo-Addo is sitting down concerned while the country heads for doomsday. Doomsday, if you recall, is the putting off or on and off of the electricity. And the moment it goes off, it means it's off. Then it comes on and people will be dancing and laughing a bit. Oh, we said it. Okay, I've read that one already, so I won't read it again anyway. So that is what it is. That is what it is. Say, oh my timwa, obi to me catch that just by radio announcement say ejuma bi eguno. And those people working in that department have no say. They don't have any sort of any alternative but just to go home. You see, people say in Europe, the politicians do this, they do that, they do this. It's not because the politicians in Europe, they have, better conscience than the average Ghanaian. No. The reason why the European parliamentarian or the politicians, they try to satisfy the citizens, their citizens, that their citizens don't sit down quiet. Their citizens, as we speak in France, right? If you look at the number of people attending rallies and demonstrations, it is not these people, these rallies and demonstrations, the numbers are not coming only from the opposition. No. The number of people demonstrating in France on the streets of Paris and other places, they are from various parties, all walks of lives. They don't say, the European youth will not say, because we voted for you, any rubbish thing you do, we are going to support. That is the difference. And so say, yeah, Titi Africa or Titi Ghana, now you can say, oh, the politicians, it is the citizens, the people in town, the people in those countries, they will not allow their politicians to ride short. I've forgotten the word, but to mislead them, to treat them badly, to enrich themselves and leave the rest of society in poverty. They don't do that. If you come to Europe, you come to UK, people will go on demonstrations, whether they voted for Conservative or they voted for Labour. Until we develop that skill, that mentality, until Ghanaians develop that understanding that you vote for a political party to come and work for you, the ordinary person, to be a bit, to make things a bit easier than the previous. If the current politician is not doing anything to make your situation a bit easier than it was before, it is not good enough. You don't just say, because I'm an MPP, you are supporting them. That is the reason why we are still in where we are. Me say, if you go to France, other places in Europe, when they say that, our pension monies is just too much, or the pension age is too much, we don't want to accept it. Those on pension, those not on pension, even those who haven't started working, they all go on strike. Whether they voted for Macron or they voted for other parties, because it is their welfare they are talking about. It is not about the party in government. And until our people learn, you see, people have this saying that, Ghanaians, it looks as if we are not angry enough. We are not angry enough. It's not about being angry. It's about looking for what is good for you. And it is a motive. Nasa abani patwi be announce say, ejuma we ye guno. Na ye ma obia kapre. Just a kontra kofie. I mean this in this 21st century. I mean who does that? Huh? Okay, thank you. Who does that? Say, you just lay off people. And most of these people are these people that don't have the physical capability to maybe engage in other activities. In a country that the government can decide some huge amount of monies to do some frivolous things, like we are going to build a cathedral, whilst we have not got money to buy medicines or vaccines, and people will still sit down. That country, that is why it is where it is. If we develop the culture of forcing, pushing, of making our elected executives or elected members in society know that they work for us and that they don't work for themselves and their families alone, until we develop that culture, it be so no it go be. And when you are talking, you have silly people in Ghana, for instance, saying, why don't you come to Ghana and come and demonstrate? And then I could be to you say me ba we Jimmy pa sikana me de ba ko hwe usuku no eno na wo say we Jimmy me catch you say in Europe, in America, in UK, in France. So abai no ye bibi ni hihye no enko manipa na ewo ho no a omo nyina they don't come as a political party. They come as they will gather, they will throne the streets. They will run onto the street as citizens. They don't go to the street to demonstrate as party NDC. So NDC call for demonstration. Nobody will come. Fix Ghana people. Because even the Fix Ghana, no, fix the country, no. It is that some people know some people to be MPP and others to be NDC. So Omonkasa, even that one, they can't perform. They have become irrelevant. They have become ineffective. Until I'm repeating that we develop that culture, that that sentiment, that look, people we voted for are not performing, so we should all shout. I'm not saying you should demonstrate and be rampaging and destroying things, no. But demonstrate with your heart and your head that you are demonstrating because you expect better from the people in charge. In Ghana, everything is now partitioned. Everything, Obibeka, is so much partitioned. So much so, say, we are there, just say, Obika, ofre meeting, Obiema, ofre, say, Obimba demonstration, Omoma. Na, we, ye dibu my money ye. Let me go and talk to there's someone who have just phoned me. I don't know who is it, but I think a call is coming from Ghana. So, hello, good evening.
Good evening, Master Musa. Pacho Genevieve.
Oh, Jenny. Oh, I see. Thanks for calling because I tried. Now me person me frail, but now I'm so phone and uncle. Now also now we are now also we are there. We are you can't say toll booth ejumani bi.
Pacho, now some year to work, but me a physical challenge.
Okay, and here now we say here for location be toll booth road be highway be now we.
Kumase highway so a free and cry konama samadi and pobiman.
Oh, I see. I see. And you know, now, just say, I'm sure say you lived locally. You know, Usorano pa. Now, what Tremedian Ejuma say? Oh, Juma no started no past 7, 6, 8, whatever. Dear now we up to maybe 5 o'clock and now say numeracies. Kakakra and Chechemame.
That's it. And me to worker. Pobi man. But me free fee 5:30. Me free me high call on me 30 minutes drive. Into no, you started Juma 6 o'clock. na yapon 1 o'clock or morning and or afternoon so I started from 1 to 8 p.m. and from 8 p.m. so no na almost on beba night na started 8 p.m. to the next morning 6 o'clock na wapon. Sana na yeah no.
I see it wo na wadwuma pa ni say wo hye boot no mu na wo gigi ska ana say ukuta camera bi gina bi ana say de adwuma ni say
me a collector nti me share inside na me ticket in my drivers.
Okay. And you know, I think it was November 2021. An announcement and all of a sudden, a buy say, Tobus no, a Jumano, a goo. Well, Tamen OT and a Juano Pan, I say, you ran, I say, we are. Tamen OT announcement, no.
17th November 2021, and you mirror say 8 o'clock. And your colleagues need be Ekeka BB say honorable we communication we you finishing.
Kojo upon Krumana.
Kojo upon Krumana that say Masabusa. Aka BB saying to know a biano. Intina I say but na me no na me proud honum. Na me proud honum somewhere June 15th, 2021. Inti me no na me wo fie je ayarehwe say mesa ba back to work. And unfortunately news ebe told me. Now it was not easy for me because na me PWD ni a me nya adwuma ne bi koye ape bia be hwe me ma na masan ko pra wo ho na me wo fie for past 5 months and sana news ne buy na enya easy mami
say how bebre obetimi a kirekire mu e pra ben a say wo nam na wo poli ye na wo bo fom ana say a friend is saying obi aponche na ti ahoma and na wan hu kwan mu no de ne hu ba pimo. What happened?
Asa Musa me shebut mu a me call afternoon shift nti my adwuma aka 2 hours a mepon ti my adwuma from 1 p.m. no abedru 6 p.m. and Kia Bongo truck edru won no alodu iron rocks but na me kra me nim say walodu iron rocks nti myself no 2 car no me bucket na won echi no door no ebie because so 2 year no iron rocks no bounce gate no and ebie ball me nsem me na no so ba ko wasen ba ko nti me gina ho no me ni stamina kese bi wo me ho nti yes ana unexpected na me nim adekoro eye me no e ma me tia me nan so e ma balance nti na we implant she me nan mo nti na
Jesus Christ Jesus Christ
my cut to surgery make a management only 800 cedis ena omude mami omuja me to hospital onyame nko up to date me battle with my health.
You see they met you see come on osaje foji ye man no maye no efi sa tamu na besi nne no de bia di ye osaje fo a ema ye hwere no ye mfa no ntu nchen by we are seeing ko na enum no we are seeing obia to say oman bia they are fighting to do the right thing. Na omaya wo she tol butim na ejuma na wo ye no nka krom ha enka tol butim kra wo ye ejuma ho no risk ye fra be risk assessment ni kire say there's the likelihood say accident ni betimi happen until your employers would have even you can say insured you being in that box. Being there alone, no, you should have been insured. Now the government
insurance and amount for him. What we were going through, no, ye kaya some obi and GNDO. obi angie because sika adwuma na ye nti obi afo say what sika no no de won sambo mu a but ye what target
that is that is not here nor there. I mean they no crowd that is never here nor there. Say achi obi say when we sika achi obi say they have to deal with you and you know family ho but me can say and she share no and she share
common nose mask omo bi ma ye ya na eto pay no so be delay ansa na eba nti obenye ska wa na odi atol nose mask po e na hwe husi a ye hwe agu ye no health insurance bia no health allowance no risk allowance enya ye de to even po obeti ne si media ni si after say in a month na temade ni si temade no ye loss PWD ni baako ye loss PWD ni baako minister Bekan say oh insurance one she knew her up to date she knew her even po besin ne cry and beside how are you say ye then ye manage life ena in some of my cafe and wunti ne crap no ho kire na akọ bobusua kra na akọ pe bibi wo neighbor bi ho crap a o say ye ma mutu adwuma no ko wie sika ye na mana nkrofo huro ye that's the pattern.
Jesus Christ oh my ben kra adan
ukọ pe adwuma na ye bisa o say na wo ye adwuma wo he o si to o say akronfo no enti ye mfa wo enti ye nyina 800 ne nyina ye wo fie.
Jesus
especially young people do this ne yentimi so ansio yentimi nya adwumaden bi anka adwuma yi na anka be boa ye ne enso yetimi dey make life but ene yetifie ye ebi mo ya pa mo
busa denken ekwan ya mo faso say you know you people will need you know a lawyer in a group I mean some strong union group behind you. How do you see that? I mean union for be better because for me maybe my trouble teacher but when ye adebia a sibe 1847 in the time of slavery a time where bajimi babrea anipani bie and asasem we sisi na se pass ayi mra ye timu obi adwuma ma ban woti to butim before even COVID you know the smoke and the what we call it the toxic fumes are a free lorry in the engine, the exhaust, the tires, everything about that place, you know, dangerous to health, and yet you are not even giving mask, nothing.
Yeah, that's Ghana. Omunyune no sikano no omunyune ho. Omunyune ye ho sikano no omunyune ho. Ya femu ankasa, but eneyi unya ne obeka wasema kire no. Ukokasa yesi shut up. We had an wakasa ye danka michia o baby or bia ye penny for danka or your secretary ye chairman or a demonstration for demonstration when lady yamaye ya call omako office to office and him for minister to minister and him for but I have some mabu niasha mas omunfin because we have nothing to say but empire near boss kokromoti ye wo kokromoti wo ye train 2024 will come away ye train kokromoti no any entry because I
will let you go and make you pull number no I will be feeding with notification anytime now if you keep your friend is saying the app link near the adena anytime I'm on air either your chairman or whoever any local person your person or what grievance or ne juma na bibino just tell them to come and speak to Mansa Musa because we talk send account soldier say they go very far. And look, Genevieve, I wish you say Ejumano Besamba because that may come you crash if nothing at all. You people should have been, you know, sent for retraining. I mean, you say mano, well person could share the palm, well person could share see a cake, you see a flowers in your man be. I mean, learn something for someone to earn a living. Ma pabo eko gufi cake. Na you penny follow come for focus.
What in here and come on reassign you to a year do my be a bit me answer because a bill of hormones and a jumobin so baby are now a year juma and be on your 2 money to a giant or coin no before frottle or be a fan or bad started because I come and compensate a mumma and bibi never started a braboise Oh, my giants are in Yeko. Yeko Bokro no ana. A man Yanko Boydramana. Now me physical challenge in me that may a ding. May a ding.
No, for being a physical challenge person, me, it can be, and I know what it is, and you know.
More fire share you might be more fire and cost be a bay, and so most of the automation neighbor. Now it's in a bay acrophone. Just imagine. Still no say no mo say yedi nti say wo qualification po no be person of no so why adwuma wo ehim pen wo experience wo adwuma ben mu wo kok bottle pa na nipa ni say go you will hear from me won't so be from
that is very wrong because sabi mumu ahin na emrana chi omu say we wia sika ban sika am penifo no na ewie sika no penifo no wie sika no e go approach na mumu any ekurani
the printer na ye adwuma obewie na record bibia wo sika no kra nso a wontumi nsan na wapie po abafie ese wo soso ansa na edru figure na wo receipt no so ansa na wa bafie ye first sika ne fa hin ehi na e defa ba nyame na be ka ya asem tena na me chiro say God is watching kama lo nso wo ho
Jenny, anytime you can phone in or let a friend, anybody phone in to tell us your grievances. And you pray,
you miss me
bye bye. Right, so because now you see. I'm going to say now you see, now you don't. Hey! I mean, on my bank, look, these people who manned this toll booth, now it has become a stigma. So those toll booth workers are now said to be what? They stole money or what? So because of that, they don't have any access to any good employment or something. Oh yeah, Juma toll booth now it has become a stigma. It has become a whipping sort of a rod on the backs of people who, for no reason or fault of theirs, now are unemployed, sitting at home languishing. We can also say on my papa. For me, I'm telling you guys, may say. The reason why I betray almost life, the reason why I betray and yoma eye kama ma omono is not because not because the outside friend is saying UK having politicians bad ones anymore, almost more bad politicians, but the difference is that the citizens will not allow them to fool them like they do in our Africa, in Ghana. The citizens wouldn't allow, say, a minister will just close a job just like that for mostly disabled people to just go home with nothing. This is not proper. This is not right. Now, until we develop that culture that, makes us think for ourselves, that culture that doesn't make us only act because we are members of a party, but because we need, if we don't develop that culture, then, my people, now politician of any color will come and undermine our own integrity every time, because the nipana eti krom hono ya who say NDC never power anti bibi koswa mekai. I remember 2016 almost say Occupy Ghana near the we united him say MPP group, and so NDC for no die And then the same thing, the in your phone ekoso, ukase ukaye chobo yenko demonstration. Then obie busana MPP ni na NDC for your masa na okobi. And kwasi adwini say this sort of mentality. And ama ye politicians, Jimmy Obiasa. Me de mubesia about 10. And I'm going home to go and enjoy a small glass of whiskey, good one. Yesterday, someone gave me a bottle of whiskey, a brilliant, nice whiskey. I'll go and enjoy it small, not too much anyway, not too much. And you too, if you have something to enjoy, you can also enjoy small. You see what I mean? Don't do anything silly. Nambi aduma ochina ebe abetuaso.